As governor, my top priority has always been keeping Oklahomans safe. One of the greatest threats to public safety is the out-of-control marijuana industry.
Governor Kevin Stitt wants voters to repeal medical marijuana in Oklahoma. I'm Robin Marsh. Right now on News 9 at 6, his reasoning behind it.
I'm Colby Thelen. The governor also wants to do away with the OSSAA, which governs high school sports. How the association is now reacting, coming up.
And I'm Lacie Lowry. Devon Energy announces a merger with the Houston company and is moving its headquarters there. What happens to the Devon Tower? What happens to the Devon employees inside the tower? We're talking about it coming up.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
6 o'clock. Good morning, Oklahoma, on this Tuesday. So many big news stories to get to. And I think a lot of people are wondering what happened to the governor's hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Should we talk about that?
Well, he came on my podcast this last week, and when he came, he just had like a little splint on his pinky. And I said, "What happened, Governor?" And he said he was carrying a Coke bottle, and that he slipped and fell, and he sliced his finger. Well, then found out he actually sliced a tendon, and so that's why it was. I think he's had to have some surgery, a procedure to fix it. So that's why. It was noticeable yesterday.
Everybody was asking, what did he do?
Yeah, when that's the first thing you notice when he walks out, probably should address
Well,
it.
I was surprised because he said, "Oh, by the state of the state, I'm going to have it all fixed. You won't even notice." And then I was like, "Oh, yeah, we did notice."
Yeah, I thought it was a slip and fall during the Snowmageddon, but it turns out it was just a Coke bottle.
There you
apparently.
go.
So, okay.
That could have been the case for a lot of folks. Very slippery for the last week, but most of it melted yesterday. Let's turn to Megan. She's in Bob Mills Weather Center. Megan, you said the last of your snow's gone.
Yeah, my backyard is in that shaded region where when you get snow, it's really hard to get it to melt because there's not that sunshine. And yesterday, it was totally melted. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. We do still have some snow kind of piled up where the plows have pushed it off. But overall, yesterday, how beautiful. Hope you spent some time outdoors. 67 officially in Oklahoma City. It was just on Saturday. We were 24 degrees. Western Oklahoma to the north and west, 70s. Beaver, Oklahoma was the winner at 76 degrees there in the Panhandle. This morning, temperatures are in the 30s and the 40s. Here in the metro, the cold front is down to the south and to the east, and back behind it, a north wind 10 to 20 miles per hour, a gust or 2 to 25, making it feel like the teens in the Panhandle, back into western and northern Oklahoma, feeling like the 20s, 29 here in Oklahoma City, and no major wind chill factor down to the south and to the east. Now, overnight tonight, there will be some cold showers that will try to transition to a winter mix with a little snow mixing in, maybe some freezing rain. We'll talk about what that can do to your Wednesday morning commute. That's coming up here in a few minutes. Back to you guys.
New this morning, a house fire breaks out overnight in southwest Oklahoma City, and firefighters have to give some of the family pets oxygen. This happened right before 5 a.m. near Southwest, there they are, Southwest 89th and May. The humans are okay, but the family pets needed to be rescued. Crews tell us when they got to this house fire at Southwest 89th and May, the flames were coming from the back of the home. 3 people inside made it out safely, but 12 pets were inside, dogs and cats. Crews say they saved a lot of the home, but there was some smoke damage to clothing.
One man is in critical condition after being pulled from Lake Stanley Draper. This was yesterday afternoon. Crews say the man was putting his boat in the water. The wind carried the boat away. The man went after the boat and went under the water and did not surface. Divers were able to pull him out of the water.
As governor, my top priority has always been keeping Oklahomans safe. One of the greatest threats to public safety is the out-of-control marijuana industry.
Harsh words from Governor Kevin Stitt, who says the medical marijuana industry is one of the greatest threats to public safety, and he now wants the issue back on the ballot and voted out of Oklahoma. News 9's Brianna Brown joins us live from the state capitol this morning with more from the governor and the state of the state. Brianna, what did he say?
Yes, in Governor Stitt's State of the State address, he compared legalizing medical marijuana to opening Pandora's box. Now, he says that the industry is plagued by crime and bad actors, and that here in Oklahoma, we have more dispensaries than pharmacies. And yesterday, in his State of the State address, he called for a vote of the people to end Oklahoma's medical marijuana industry, which he says enables cartel activity, human trafficking, and foreign influence to operate behind dispensary storefronts. Now, we spoke to local dispensary owner Dana Herrick, who claims the state let too many people get licenses to sell from the start, and now regulators and law enforcement agencies are overwhelmed.
So I think a vote would probably be the best thing and even it out, but I don't even think it should come to this. I think the oversaturation and the lack of control by our government is what's forced us into this situation, which to me is not fair.
A local attorney who specializes in cannabis cases says that at the end of the day, people who want or need the drug will go to buy it on the black market, which will not help with the crime issue. Here at the state capitol, Brianna Brown for Oklahoma's Own News 9.
All right, Brianna, thanks so much. Also speaking on crime, News 9 has learned that later today, Oklahoma's Attorney General Gettner Drummond and local law enforcement partners will be discussing the dismantling of a major drug trafficking organization that's been in Oklahoma. It has spanned into multiple states across the nation. Look for the latest from that news conference coming up again from the Attorney General here on News 9.
Governor Kevin Stitt also calling for a major change to high school sports. During that address yesterday, he brought up getting rid of the OSSAA. It governs high school sports. Last year, the organization was wrapped up in a high-profile case with a group of Glencoe High School basketball players. They faced ineligibility issues for transferring schools. They were accused of being recruited by a coach. Their attorney, who ended up winning their eligibility back, says she welcomes the governor's idea.
I think we need a system that looks at how to keep boys and women eligible and not look at a way to make sure these kids don't get to play. The current system I see doesn't work towards eligibility and doesn't have transparency.
News 9 did reach out to OSSAA, and in a statement, they say in part, while we were disappointed that Governor Stitt did not reach out to learn more about how the OSSAA operates, we welcome the opportunity to visit with him at any time. And you can find the governor's full speech and a breakdown of it right now over on our website, news9.com.
The other big story, Devon Energy is merging with Houston-based Katera Energy and will move its headquarters to Houston. Devon says this will make them one of the world's largest shale producers. It'll be worth $58 billion. It'll still be called Devon. And even though Devon says it will maintain a significant presence in Oklahoma City, one expert says it's still too soon to know the full extent of what that means.
The extent, the definition of the word, significant is what's important here. And how many number of the 2,000 employees will remain in Oklahoma City is still up in the air.
The state chamber is congratulating Devon on this historic merger, saying we are optimistic that Oklahoma City will remain an important part of Devon's future. The merger is expected to be complete by the end of this spring. Our Lisa Monahan will have more on this coming up at 6:45.
It is 6:08 on our Tuesday morning. Let's take a look at the morning drive, see how we're doing. This is from our news tracker, Joey Mitchell. He is northbound, we're told, on I-44 this morning. We're watching the roadways for you. No wrecks. That's the good news across the metro. Keep it here on 9. We will keep you posted. Early voting for Oklahoma's next election starts this week. For Oklahoma City residents, you'll be deciding who will lead the next 4 years as mayor. The choices: current mayor David Holt or the challenger Matthew Polaris. Edmond and Deer Creek residents will be voting on school bonds. 5 Norman City Council seats are also up for grabs. Early voting starts Thursday, this Thursday. Election day is next Tuesday, February the 10th.
6:09 right now. Oklahoma City police say they're still looking for 2 pooch pirates.
But
not porch pirates, but pooch pirates. Officers posted ring videos showing 2 dogs stealing a package from someone's porch.
No way.
Well, they say the evidence shows clear intent, flawless teamwork, and 0 remorse.
There's the other one coming around.
Police say,
What'd you get, Frank?
What'd you get? Yeah. What's good to eat there?
Once those four-legged thieves were caught, they will face multiple charges, including conspiracy to commit snack theft.
Oh my God,
That's
they
what
ate
was,
it.
That was what was left behind. They're like, if I'm stuck out here in the snow, I better go find myself some food.
That's a good one.
Those are the cutest porch pirates I've ever seen right there.
I like it. All right. Hey, we're watching the forecast for you today. Here's Megan Gold. Before you go, Megan, how we doing this morning?
Well, a cold front has arrived, a breezy to a gusty north wind this morning, so it is chilly out there. We have wind chill values in the teens and the 20s up to the north and west. Today will be about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than yesterday. Yesterday was flat out beautiful with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. There's that north wind from our Chickasha camera, part of our Lucky Star Skycam network. You're headed out the door this morning. Grab the jacket or the coat. It is chilly with that wind. We'll have sunshine today. We'll talk about the chance for a winter mix. Does that cause any issues for your Wednesday morning commute? That's coming up.
And more coverage from the governor's state of the state. Why Kevin Stitt wants cuts to Medicaid. What do Democrats say? It's in a few minutes.
And there were armchair meteorologists and social media meteorologists and some meteorologists in the Oklahoma City market that were showing model data.
With these extreme clickbait numbers. Yeah.
20 inches, 22 inches, and I get it, but that's not forecasting. That's showing them. If I could do that every day, then, I mean, why work? I mean, you're not really working. You're lazy, for one thing. But we never did have that, and we get kind of pulled into that when somebody goes crazy.
A truly unfiltered conversation this week on Beyond the Forecast. Lacey and David are recapping the winter storm from January. The episode drops this Thursday at 3 p.m. on the News 9 Weather Channel.
Boy, I tell you, you start watching social media, you can get freaked out real fast on all that stuff, you know?
That's why the grocery store stuff is That's right. Exactly. And we use that data as a tool, right? And we get all these different runs in, and it's our job to sort through it, to just post one of those.
And that's what forecasting is about.
Exactly.
Making sure you look at all the information.
And we might terrify you if we posted the things that come in, you know, because it might be 2 inches of snow, it might be 26. I mean, there were model runs that day leading up to that storm that it was like, oh my gosh, is this going to happen?
Yeah.
So it's
you
wild.
Start balancing everything out of all the information coming in.
Exactly. Yeah, you've got to filter it, as always with social media, right?
There's a science to it.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, out the door this morning, the cold front has arrived. Today is a cooler day than yesterday, and boy, what a wild week of weather we have had from our big winter storm just over a week ago. On Saturday, we were 24 degrees, and yesterday, 67. So that's what 48 hours in Oklahoma will do for you. Our normal high should be about 51 degrees, and we will actually still be several degrees above that. As you're getting the kids ready for the bus stop, grab the coat, the jacket this morning. We do have a north wind gusting to 20, 25 in spots. So even though our temperatures are pretty mild, it is still chilly with wind chill values in the 20s and even teens in many spots. By the time you pick them up this afternoon, temperatures will be in the 50s. To take you back here over the past 9 days, remember just over a week ago, again, we were climbing out of our big Arctic blast. By Monday, temperatures were in the 20s. Wednesday, we were in the 40s, and then we had another shot of cold. There was your Saturday of 24, Sunday 49, and our 67 yesterday. So our morning temperatures have been getting warmer. Our afternoon temperatures have been getting warmer. And today, a little cooler. Tomorrow, the coolest day of the next 9, even then by February standards and what we have been through, it could be so much colder. We'll quickly be back into the 60s. I'll show you the 9-day, your weekend. Make some outdoor plans. It looks absolutely amazing. Here is the live look from our Lucky Star Skycam network, our Chickasha camera there. And notice the haze here. We do have a little moisture in place, visibility down in some spots, and a little bit of cloud cover that's starting to push off to the east. 38 is our temperature, and it feels like 29, 82% humidity. So with the wind, no big visibility and fog issues this morning, except down in southern Oklahoma. 38 in Edmond, it's 35 in Piedmont, to Kingfisher and Okarche. El Reno, you're 35 as well. 40 in Choctaw to Hera, and 43 in Pink this morning. Here's your freezing line. So back to the north of that, temperatures below freezing. Alva, you're 29, 24 in Guyman, and then down in southern Oklahoma, much warmer down there. The winds are lighter, and there's your cold front. A north wind, it's lightened up across the north. Enid, you're gusting to about 15 right now. Had a few gusts to 25 and 30 down in the Lawton area, and our wind chill values again in the teens and the 20s. So it's chilly. You'll want the coat, but this afternoon, not all that bad. Visibility definitely reduced down along the Red River, Durant, less than a quarter of a mile. Ada, you had some visibility issues earlier this morning, but no longer, and then down to about 2 miles in Ardmore. So doing okay here in the metro this afternoon, from 67 yesterday to 55 this afternoon with that north wind under mostly sunny skies, low 60s down to the south. Really still a great day. Now tonight, temperatures fall below freezing for nearly everybody, at least north of I-40, and we'll have some showers that will develop later this evening. As temperatures fall overnight tonight, we're going to watch for a transition to some light winter precip, which means a little snow mixing in, maybe some light freezing rain and drizzle. And in areas where that's heaviest, we could have some slick spots develop on bridges and overpasses, especially from Oklahoma City to the north and to the west. So we're going to watch that very, very closely. I don't think it's a huge deal for us, but again, if you get slick bridges and overpasses, things can go downhill quickly. So just make sure you check in with us tomorrow morning. A 60% chance across the north, back to Weatherford, to Clinton, to Elk City, and then slight chances down to the south, a 40% chance here in OKC. And again, your slick zone, a few slick spots possible, bridges and overpasses, main thoroughfares should be just fine. Tomorrow, the coolest day of the next 9, we're in the 40s and the 50s, and then by Thursday, we start our big warm up. We're back to the 60s, upper 60s, and low 70s for your Friday, and temperatures take off from there the weekend. Again, make some outdoor plans. Absolutely amazing. A little cloud cover, temperatures in the low to mid 70s Monday. How about 73 degrees? And then our next cold front arrives with our next rainmaker Tuesday into Wednesday, guys. Back over to you.
Megan, thank you. A reminder, we are streaming live right now on YouTube. You can use this QR code to get to the page, then subscribe, join in the chat. We may even read some of those comments later on this morning.
All right, here is a look at some of the headlines across the nation this morning. Bill and Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify in the House Oversight Committee's investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. According to their legal team, the couple will appear for depositions. The date has not been announced yet. The House Oversight Committee did subpoena them last year, but the Clintons refused.
In Minnesota, all federal immigration agents will start wearing body cameras. The Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says this policy will be expanded nationwide as the funding becomes available. All of this comes as ICE agents recently shot and killed 2 people there in Minnesota.
Our snow and ice is mostly gone by now, but the northeastern part of the country continues cleanup after that major winter storm. In Philadelphia, look at this. Some cars ended up encased in ice. Yeah, local authorities say work is currently underway to clean up the roads.
All right, 6:20 on our Tuesday morning. Let's see how we're doing on that morning drive for you right now. Let's take a live look from our news tracker, Lex Stanfield. There he is. He is monitoring the traffic conditions right kind of at the Dallas-Fort Smith junction there, right off of I-35 and I-40. Everything is moving along. Traffic is picking up. We're noticing on our city cams across the metro this morning. Buckle up and drive safely.
We are hearing from Thunder center Chet Holmgren about being named a reserve for the NBA All-Star Game. He will join SGA on the Western Conference team later this month. Chet says while it's not a priority, he is very grateful.
You know, I always say, like, I'll never play for or, like, chase things of that nature, but that doesn't mean that the gratitude for it and kind of the understanding of the gravity of it isn't there. You know, I'm extremely grateful.
Congratulations to him. Tonight, the Thunder will take on Orlando for the first time this season. OKC will need to keep up the energy without key players A.J. Mitchell, J-Dub, and Alex Caruso. And after tonight, the Thunder only have 5 games more until the All-Star break. We are clicking along. Tonight's game, 7 p.m.
So we're more than halfway through the season then,
Yeah,
right?
isn't that
Wow.
weird?
Yeah, I feel like they needed the break. Every other night you're playing a tough-fought game.
Well, just trying to get healthy. I
Yeah,
mean, they've
exactly.
really suffered the injuries, you know.
Let's turn now to the outdoor forecast. Megan Gold standing by. See that Chickasha flag whipping there behind you,
Right?
Megan?
Yeah, check it out. North wind is here from our cold front that moved through earlier this morning. It's down in southeastern Oklahoma, and we do have clear skies here in Chickasha. Temperatures are running in the 30s. We're in the 20s up to the north and west. Wind chill values in the teens there. And today will be about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than yesterday. 67 in Oklahoma City yesterday, 55 degrees today, with increasing clouds as we go into the late afternoon and evening. Overnight tonight, we'll watch for some cold showers to develop. Could see some light winter mix. What does that mean for slick spots for your Wednesday morning? We'll talk all about it coming up here in just a few minutes. Back to you guys.
Megan, thank you. Could Oklahoma end up holding third graders back? Coming up after the break, we're going to talk about proposed legislation that addresses literacy. We're back right after this.
You're watching Oklahoma's Own News 9 this morning.
Welcome back, 6:30 on our Tuesday morning, and there is the Devon Tower. Just 24 hours ago, news was breaking that Devon Energy is moving its headquarters to Houston, Texas in a more than $50 billion merger with Coterra Energy. And the first news, it kind of felt like a gut punch just hearing that they were leaving Oklahoma City.
I think we all turned around and looked at the Devon Tower. We're like, what is going to happen?
You know, so many questions. What happens to the tower? What happens to, you know, the workers here? The company says it will have still a significant presence in Oklahoma, but you know, when mergers happen, things can change quickly.
Exactly.
So
yeah, we'll certainly be following that very, very closely. Right now, we're also wondering what's going to happen with all the cold front coming through, and potentially could be some slick roads tomorrow morning, Megan.
We could have a few slick spots. We're watching for a light winter mix to develop overnight tonight and into your Wednesday morning. I don't think we have widespread issues, but it will be the bridges and overpasses that if we can get preset that is heavy enough, a few slick spots will be possible, and just want you to be prepared for that as you hit the door and hit the roadways tomorrow. Yesterday, hope you spent some time outdoors. It was absolutely beautiful, 67 degrees in Oklahoma City. Up in the northwest, we had mid to upper 70s. Beaver was the winner at 76 degrees at the beginning of February. Now here on your Tuesday morning, a cold front has arrived from our Chickasha camera. A north wind gusting to 20 and 25 miles per hour, making it feel like the 20s. Across the metro, mid to upper 30s, and we do have a few 40s out near Hara, McLeod, and Lake Thunderbird. Temperatures up in northern Oklahoma in the 20s. Guyman is 24 right now, and here are your wind chill values in the teens and 20s. Not quite as cold down to the south or to the east. There's the cold front, the north wind at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. We'll talk more about that chance for a few slick spots tomorrow morning. Could see some snow mixing in. We'll talk more about it coming up, guys.
Law authorities say a long investigation lands a Drumright teacher in jail charged with sexually abusing two students. Bobby Pruitt was put on paid leave last October when these allegations surfaced. Here's his picture. He then formally resigned and turned over his teaching license. The OSBI says it found proof of inappropriate contact with students and that Pruitt is now charged with sexual assault and child abuse.
Our job now, from the OSBI standpoint, is we have to now, make sure that as we move forward with this, to see if there are other victims possibly in this case.
So Pruitt worked for several Oklahoma school districts in his 38-year career. There you heard OSBI wondering, could there be more victims? If you have any information, you can contact the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation.
The woman charged with orchestrating the murders of two Kansas moms in the Oklahoma Panhandle is sentenced to life in prison. The suspect seen here, Tiffany Adams. Investigators say the victims, Jillian Kelly and Veronica Butler, disappeared out in the Panhandle near Guyman back in 2024. Court records say they were found dead, buried in a freezer. 5 suspects total were charged in their murder, including Tiffany Adams, the grandmother of Butler's children. She pleaded no contest last year, avoiding the death penalty, and yesterday a judge sentenced her to life without the possibility of parole.
At the state capitol, Governor Kevin Stitt lays out his priorities for his 8th and final legislative session. In his State of the State address, he asked lawmakers to take a hard look at Medicaid, saying the state could go bankrupt if additional Oklahomans use the program.
Medicaid is Exhibit A. It's driving massive spending growth while enabling waste. In 10 years, Medicaid is projected to eat up 37% of our annual budget, $6 billion. We have to make a change. My recent executive order ramps up work requirements on vetting for Medicaid, SNAP, and other federal welfare benefits, but I need your help.
He also called on the legislature to send a state question to a vote of the people that would allow adjustments to Medicaid expansion, ensuring the program, which hundreds of thousands of Oklahomans currently use, is available to those who actually need it.
And Democrats responding to the proposed cuts to Medicaid. House Democratic leader Cindy Munson at the Capitol says the governor's not listening to working Oklahomans. She points to high living costs and struggles in education and health care. I don't know if we have her.
The governor clearly has a misunderstanding or so disconnected to what everyday folks are going through that he doesn't understand what's happening in healthcare across the state.
Well, Governor Stitt also addressed the budget issue yesterday. More on that coming up on News 9 in just a few minutes.
6:35 your time right now. Let's take a look at your morning drive this morning, taking a live look from our news tracker, Joey Mitchell. He is southbound right now on the Broadway extension, and traffic is certainly picking up. But the good news is no major incidents that are going to slow you down on major interstates this morning. Of course, we'll continue to keep you posted through the traffic and through the morning commute.
Well, more than 500,000 people statewide are functioning illiterate. That's according to the Community Literacy Centers of Oklahoma. But at the Capitol, there is a new bill aiming to improve literacy.
Senate Bill 1778 would require third-grader students to be held back if they cannot pass reading tests. News 9's Elizabeth Fitz spoke with a nonprofit that serves people who want to learn how to read.
Sharon Jackson, the president of Community Literacy Centers, hears from learners frequently.
Over and over I hear, well, I didn't take education serious, or my parents didn't make me go to school. Well, I'm learning now because I can't help my kids.
Community Literacy Centers of Oklahoma says helping kids improve early literacy outcomes starts in the home.
In Oklahoma, in our state, is over 560,000 functionally illiterate adults. What that means, they can do physical work. They can do repetitive work. They can't fill out an application. They can't fill out a driver's license request. You know, they shouldn't be signing contracts.
From 2012 to 2014, Oklahoma implemented a third-grade retention bill that was later repealed due to class size, staff training, and parental input. The current version of the bill revives these efforts and takes from other states that have had success with improving literacy outcomes.
And so if you go back and you look at what Mississippi did, it took them almost 20 years before they saw the so-called Mississippi miracle. When you talk to people in Mississippi, they say it wasn't a miracle, it was a marathon because it took so long.
She said Mississippi's success in part came from teachers trained in the science of reading and intensive tutoring and summer programs.
Just the retention of a child alone is not the magic trick. It is everything that comes with it.
Elizabeth Fitz, Oklahoma's own News 9.
If this bill passes, it would declare that an emergency exists, and it would take effect very quickly, July 1st of this year.
More police asking people to heed their warnings on red lights. It's in a timely way, we'll say. They took to social media on Groundhog Day yesterday saying, so you'll listen to a groundhog and change your whole schedule. But when we say stop running red lights, suddenly no one hears us. Fair enough. A reminder, red means stop. So there you go. Yes, he is clairvoyant.
Well, when you get a ground rat to say it, it just means more, right?
Yeah.
There's no pomp and circumstances.
Exactly. I had tens of thousands of people out yesterday
It's like
morning.
a rock concert at that.
Oh, my
Groundhog
goodness.
Day.
All right. We doing okay this morning?
Yeah, doing good,
right.
I think. So we had a beautiful afternoon yesterday, but cold front might change things for a little bit, Megan.
Yeah, today is a cooler day. Tomorrow's even cooler than today. So 50s today, 40s and some 50s tomorrow. And overnight tonight, there is a chance chance for some light winter precip. So we'll talk all about that coming up. Here's the live look from our Chickasha camera. 38 degrees with a few clouds overhead. With that north wind, it feels like 29 yesterday, 67. Wasn't it amazing? 55 is the high today. And again, tomorrow morning, it is all about the chance for a few slick spots. We'll talk about the very latest coming up here in just a few minutes.
So many questions about Devon Energy with the merger now with a company based out of Houston, Texas, and moving the headquarters to the Lone Star State after the break. How the Devon merger could affect the economy in Oklahoma City. We're talking about it next.
Plus, Governor Stitt wants a flat budget. He says the budget is growing too big. His reasoning, what he wants to see in the process. It's next on 9.
Welcome back. It's almost 6:45 on our Tuesday morning. Boy, yesterday, if you could just kind of bottle that up.
It was so nice.
It was beautiful.
I feel like we have to pay for it now, though.
I know. Well, we have 2 cooler days, and then we're right back to that.
Okay.
Actually, warmer than that. So essentially, we've got to get through tonight, tomorrow morning, the chance for a little winter precip. Shouldn't be a huge deal. Could have a few slick spots, and then after that, enjoy the outdoor weather. Talking 60s and 70s into next week. We've got our next rainmaker arriving, and we're still watching for our next potential severe weather maker and maybe even snowmaker, and we'll talk more about that coming up here in just a minute. At 6:42 here on your Tuesday morning, we hope your morning's off to a great start. We're glad you're hanging out with us, and we are watching as the Oklahoma skies are breaking daylight. Sunrise here in just about 45 minutes at 7:28. Cold front came through during the overnight hours, and today will not be quite as warm and pleasant as yesterday. We've been watching temperatures around the country because here in Oklahoma City and Oklahoma, temperatures have actually been warmer than down in Florida. They have had a big time cold shot. It's 30 in Orlando right now and 38 in Oklahoma City. I think our warmest spot is Houston at 63, and it is 3 degrees frigid in Minneapolis, where the Arctic air is locked up to the north. So the cold front moving through, we get a kind of brief shot of some cooler air, and then our next big storm system, or our next little storm system, I should say, is coming in out of the north and west, and that is what will drive our winter precip chances for tonight. Again, it shouldn't be a huge deal, but cold showers transitioning to a little winter mix. Could have a little freezing rain in there, and also some snow mixing in. We'll watch for slick spots because, of course, that's super important. Chickasha camera again there. Old Glory blowing in that north wind. 38 is our temperature, and it feels like 29. So grab the coat if you're headed out. That north wind is chilly. El Reno, Okarche, Kingfisher, you're 34 degrees, 37 in Midwest City, up to Edmond and Arcadia, and 39 in Hera, 37 down in Norman, and temperatures across the north are in the 20s. A little colder there. You tack on the north wind, it feels like 15 in Guyman. Woodward, you feel like 26, Alva 21, and Enid 24, 29 here in Oklahoma City. So our cold front is slowly moving down to the south and to the east. Winds very light out ahead of it, and then you've got a north wind back behind it at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Because of the wind, we have not had big visibility issues. At times, you'll notice the haze out the door this morning in Oklahoma City, but even then, just fine at about 8 miles for our visibility. The dense fog has been down along the Red River, where, of course, the cold front has not moved through, and so the winds are much lighter. As you plan your day here for the kids, again, we're in the 20s or we're in the 30s and 40s for the bus stop, and then by midday, climbing towards 50 degrees, and this afternoon, when you pick them up, temperatures around 55 degrees. So from 60s and 70s yesterday to the 50s and 60s today, mostly sunny skies. And tonight, temperatures falling into the upper 20s and the low 30s. So let me walk you through future next gen. As we go through the afternoon and evening, we'll have cloud cover increasing, a few spotty showers overnight tonight. And as our temperatures fall below the freezing mark, we'll watch for some of this to start to mix in some of that winter precip. And if it's heavy enough, bridges and overpasses could become slick. We'll watch that very, very closely. Highest chances across the north, the west, and here in the metro, maybe have a few snow flurries off into northeastern Oklahoma. So from Woodward to Alva to Enid, Medford, back down to Elk City and Clinton. And then as temperatures are above freezing down in southern Oklahoma, we won't be worried about slick spots there. So again, bridges, the overpasses, those are what can get slick first. A few isolated slick spots will be possible. Just check in with us tomorrow morning and we'll get through it and it'll be just fine. Tomorrow is our coolest day here for the foreseeable future. Temperatures in the 40s, so it's a brief cold shot or cool shot, if you will. We start a big warm up into the weekend. I mean, seriously, make outdoor plans. Temperatures in the 70s, and then our next rainmaker approaches from the southwest, bringing in rain opportunities for your Tuesday, maybe your Wednesday, and then we're also watching another storm system around the 13th to the 14th that may drive our next opportunity for some strong storms. So watching that very closely. Thursday, we turn a corner from the 40s tomorrow to the 60s, and then 67 for your high on Friday. By the weekend, we're in the 70s, and then next Tuesday and Wednesday, a brief little cool down, still above normal with rain opportunities. Back over to you guys.
Megan, thank you. Devon Energy expected to merge with Houston-based energy company Coterra and move their headquarters to Houston. Let's go to News 9's Lisa Monahan. She joins us here live in studio with what this could mean for employees. Lisa?
Well, Colby, Devon Energy announced that combined $58 billion transaction Monday. The deal is expected to close in the second quarter of this year, with Devon's executive team, including CEO Clay Gasper, moving to Houston. Now, the company has not given any specifics about the future of its 2,000 Oklahoma City employees, saying only that it will maintain a significant presence in the city. Now, the announcement and the questions surrounding Devon's 50-story tower here in downtown Oklahoma City immediately sparked concern across the community. Devon has been headquartered in Oklahoma City since 1971. And while it's not the city's largest employer, it is certainly one of the most philanthropic. The company is a major contributor to dozens of nonprofits, including the Arts Council Oklahoma City Museum of Art, National Cowboy Western Heritage Museum, and Lyric Theater, just to name a few. Governor Kevin Stitt responding, saying Devon execs have reassured him most of the company's employees will stay here in Oklahoma City with the company involved in the community. And here is what Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt has to say. There are still major unknowns regarding the scale of Devon's presence in Oklahoma City moving forward. But we have worked hard as a city to establish a local economy that is not reliant on any single industry, much less one company. Now, for more insight on the merger, we turn to economist Steve Agee.
By combining the two, they hope, I'm sure, to create some synergies so they can not duplicate services. They can reduce some duplication of services and probably enhance shareholder value. And that's the purpose of it.
AG believes most of the day-to-day operations will remain here in Oklahoma City. And in a call with investors, Devon reported that it was required to relocate its headquarters as part of this merger. As of now, neither Devon or Coterra have announced job cuts, but the company did cite $1 billion in savings by eliminating redundancies in operations. Colby.
Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out, Lisa. Thank you. The merger is expected to be complete by this spring.
At the state capitol, Governor Kevin Stitt says the state budget is getting out of hand and actually proposed a state budget $1 billion less than last year. He says state lawmakers must be better stewards of tax dollars.
To preserve this progress, I'm calling for a state question on the ballot. Let's codify a 3% annual cap on reoccurring spending growth in our Constitution. And let's lock in future cuts with ironclad rules. This keeps the growth of government in check, and it protects the Oklahoma taxpayer. And where I have the authority, I'll rein in welfare spending.
That was one of multiple state questions the governor discussed. He also wants to freeze property taxes. He wants that state question, saying veterans, seniors, and young families are feeling the pressure. Now, in his last State of the State address, the governor touted his tax cuts over the last several years in office, saving Oklahomans $1.6 billion. But Democrats say that the tax cuts are just to the wealthiest, and that is revenue that we should be putting towards our children's futures.
That's enough money to get Oklahoma's public education system out of that 50th ranking. We could actually put money into our public schools as opposed to giving money to those who least need it. It would also get us out of the last in the region ranking for public education funding.
You can find Governor Kevin Stitt's full speech and a full breakdown of all of his goals at news9.com.
All right, let's see how we're doing on the morning drive for you on a Tuesday. Taking a look from our traffic reporters who are out and about. Yep, things already getting busy monitoring the roadways. This is kind of pouring in from I-40, I-35 right at the Dallas Junction there. Traffic is picking up, and so just a heads up, there is a little bit of construction across some of the I-40 westbound areas there. Just buckle up, drive safely. We'll continue watching it. Hey, I do want to mention on my podcast coming up this week in the Spotlight, you'll meet Cecilia Stoll. She's the Edmond businesswoman who went from desperately trying to pay just a $200 phone bill, needing someone to be generous, to becoming Arbonne's #1 global salesperson. She is sharing her story of success and how she champions others to do it. Check it out Wednesday morning on Oklahoma's own Originals YouTube channel at 10:30.
Coming up on the Community Spotlight, we're visiting the Humane Society to meet some adoptable pets, the adopted dog competing in the Puppy Bowl, upcoming events, and volunteer opportunities.
I love that.
That's my favorite.
Hey, another animal story, kind of a weird one. A group of Florida social media influencers taking advantage of some chilly weather to make a blanket of cold, stunned iguanas. It's so cold, iguanas are falling from the trees. Well, this influencer said, I'll just make a blanket out of them and lay on the ground.
I thought he was making a blanket for them.
I did too. I think that would have made more sense, but social media influencers think differently. So he said, they'll be my blanket and I'll be warm.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? I mean, honestly.
Megan, don't you want an iguana?
I don't. It is so interesting, though, that they fall out of the tree. They're like in a state of paralysis. They're not dead.
Video of people just picking them up, like going down the sidewalk.
Yeah, just Florida things. Hey, today, highs in the 50s, a chance for a winter mix overnight tonight. We'll watch for slick spots.
Have a good day.
Just Florida things.